great series. These two teams are so even. In the first game, it came down to Jokic hitting the big buckets late. Last night, it came down to Kawhi Leonard hitting the big buckets late. And I was sitting watching Kawhi Leonard. He is the strangest great player of all time. Nonverbal, doesn't want to lead, no social media. Even his shoe was weird. His laugh is odd. But years ago, I said this when he was actually playing more games. This year, he played 37 games, and that's with restrictions on minutes. And I said this 5 or 6 years ago. I said, in terms of get a bucket, get a stop, he's very much Michael Jordan. That everybody compares LeBron and Michael Jordan. LeBron is much more Magic Johnson. Much more Magic Johnson. Elevates others. Kobe Bryant had Michael Jordan. So does Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, hand size, Jordan. Mid-range game, Jordan. Strength, Jordan. Now, Kawhi doesn't have his durability or his personality. But if you took Kawhi and Kobe Bryant, that's Michael. Michael and Kobe athletically were the same cat, and both had a flair for the dramatic and a personality. Kawhi's not durable, Kobe was. MJ was. Kobe had a personality, MJ had a personality. But the one thing Kawhi has that Kobe didn't is the hand size allows Kawhi to do things offensively. Push off with one hand, use the other that even Kobe couldn't do. So I'm watching him last night, and again, he just doesn't play enough. He's a very odd all-time player. But he is unstoppable when he's healthy. And I said this after they lost game one. I'll still take the Clippers. They're a much better defensive team. They've got a better coach. Ty Lue will win one game. These games are in Denver. They could have won both. Jokic got real sloppy in this game. I think he had 7 or 8 turnovers. But James Harden's thoughts on Kawhi.
His career, the stop and start nature, all the things he's gone through. Do you think, and he keeps coming back, do you think he gets the appreciation from people for what he's endured and coming back from?
No, not even a little bit. It's always negative. It's always, what he's been through and what he's not able to do just because of something that he can't control. But we don't appreciate how great he is when he's actually out there and putting on performances like this tonight.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've talked about this a lot recently, that, people are so confused about really who Kawhi Leonard is. And the dude is so special. He's such a brilliant player. But because it's the perfect combination of, because of his personality, because he's a quiet, more withdrawn, which once upon a time that actually used to be a positive thing, because he's not getting in trouble. He's not barking at the refs nonstop. He's not, doing like violent gestures and stuff like that. But because of his body too, that he can't, he has to miss a lot of games. People take it as him like not caring, when he obviously does. And if he was able to just be healthy, he would continue to play, continue to ball, and then there would obviously be so much less criticism. But then you have dumb takes like Stephen A saying he should retire this, that, and the third, and it's like, he cares. His body is still in peak shape. Like, he obviously is in shape. He's not ever out of shape. Like, he obviously puts in the work for his body, but his body has failed him in terms of being able to stay healthy. That is just a real thing. That is people just don't seem to understand that when you get, when you deal with injuries, it's 99.9% of the time, just out of your control. And every single time you get an injury and get a surgery, a procedure, you are never 100%. You're never 100% ever again. No doctor, no surgeon, no physical therapist will ever tell you that you make a full recovery, because you don't. You're never back truly 100%. You can get to 99.9, but you are never 100%. It can look like you are because you're still running and jumping and this up, but it's just not the same. And that's why I love that Travis Kelce recently said, he said this last season, he's like, I've had 10 surgeries and not a day goes by that I don't feel every single one of them. And so it's like, he's made full recoveries. He's back to full strength, but you're never truly are. And unfortunately for these players that just get injured, the Embiids of the world, the Leonards of the world, it just always ends up being open season on them. But the reality is Kawhi is so special, and he's so versatile. So the problem with the Jokic is, and Jokic is obviously amazing, and Jokic can do so much, right? He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can do everything. But at the same time, he's so much more limited by what the game needs from him in any given moment. Whereas Kawhi Leonard can truly do anything in any given moment. You need him to dribble and hold on to the ball for the next 20 seconds, he can do that. Jokic can't. You need him to play lockdown defense on the number one player, or on, there's 15 seconds to go, and the player who, for, let's just make him up, Aaron Gordon is just absolutely balling and has 70 points. You need Kawhi Leonard to lock him down on defense. That's Kawhi Leonard's job. He can do that. You need him. Oh my God, there's a ball bouncing around. He needs to get that rebound. You need to fight for that. Kawhi Leonard can do it. There's just nothing that he can't do. You need him to sprint the length of the court because you need a block. If you don't get this block, game over. Kawhi, at any given moment, in any aspect of the game calls for, Kawhi Leonard can do it. He needs a mid-range jumper, he can get it. He needs to drive to the basket, get to the line, he can do it. You need a three, he can do it. You need a dunk, he can do it. He needs to make an awesome pass, he can do it. You need a steal. For whatever reason, this possession, you have to somehow get a steal. It has to be a steal, nothing else. He can do it. So there's truly fundamentally nothing that he can't do in any given moment. And that's what makes him so powerful. And that's what makes his story, it's honestly a tragedy that he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And again, it's so funny because they're like, oh, he's kind of weird. He has no social media. And it's like, well, again, once upon a time, that was like a positive. He's quiet. Yeah. I'd much rather have his personality over many of the other personalities. But because he gets banged up and he doesn't play, it kind of ends up being open season on him. And it's a bummer. And I also get it from a media perspective, or even from an entertainment perspective, from someone who just loves to consume this, right? On one side, I criticize Ja Morant a lot, but on one side, Ja Morant gives me more to talk about. And I don't even mean just for this channel, just in general, just with my friends, my family, whatever, right? It's more entertaining technically than Kawhi Leonard. So just from an entertainment, if everybody was like Kawhi Leonard, then the NBA would be pretty boring. Even if they all played, it would actually be kind of boring. You would watch some awesome high-level ball, but it would be a little boring. There wouldn't be a ton to talk about. There wouldn't be a lot of interesting narratives to talk about. It would just be, different. So I do get that aspect. But at the same time, I'm not going to criticize Kawhi because I know, not everyone can have a big personality. I have a big personality, I can talk forever and ever and ever. And if everybody was like that, the world would be pretty crazy, pretty chaotic. We'd all be fighting to kind of talk. And it's the kind of the opposite. If everybody was really introverted and quiet, there wouldn't be a lot of fans screaming and cheering. It would just be like, woo, a few claps here and there. Be kind of boring. So you kind of need a mix of all the different personalities to gel on a team. And I kind of take issue because people, Colin kind of said, oh, he doesn't want to lead. That is leading. Scoring 39 points, going 15 of 19, getting a big steal in key moments, a big basket in key moments, missing back-to-back shots even though he was so hot. And then there was this feeling because you could even hear the commentator be like, oh my God, he's missed back-to-back shots now. And you're trying to kind of have this momentum of uh-oh, is Kawhi Leonard going cold at the wrong moment when you got to have it? Nope. And he still gets the ball. He still gets the ball in the basket. And he does it in a way that's not forced, not desperate, not overreaching. It was still in the flow of the game. Still setting other players up for success. Playing awesome defense. Energizing the team. Keeping everybody, to say, hey, we're still in this game, even when things started to slowly kind of not get out of their grasp. But, you definitely at that point, you're watching the game and you're definitely kind of like, the Clippers can lose this game, obviously. It was far from a guarantee. And then there you have it. So, Kawhi Leonard deserves all the praise. Quite frankly, he deserves a ton of grace for just his body. He deserves some acceptance for his personality. And the Clippers deserve a ton of credit. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers Game 2 victory? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.